Evening, everyone.
Good evening. We're back.
Welcome back to another week of John and John with BQuest.
Yes. Our new Monday nights.
A new Monday night slot.
Yes. Much more enjoyable. Good way to start the week.
It is a good way to start the week.
So yes, we'll come on, do our normal stuff. We can come on live. If people want to come on live, they can come on live and have a chat with us.
Yep.
We do intuitive guidance, life issues, things like that. So
recurring problems, patterns,
yes.
questions, situations, all that kind of stuff, John.
Yeah. So what's been some common topics this week?
Common threads this
Common
week?
threads, yes.
Including yourself in situations or seeing yes. yourself in a third person kind of way.
Hi guys, everyone that's coming on.
Hey guys.
Welcome back. So if anyone's got any questions on intuitive guidance, if you've got health issues, dream interpretation or reoccurring issues in your life, we want it to be a little bit more specific, not just what do you see for me. This is more interactive, so the more specific you can get, if it's issues, if it's
so let's give an example. Like someone might have a pain in their neck. What we'd like them to describe is that how it actually feels to you
and where it is in the neck.
So for example, I've got this pushing pressure on the left side of my neck,
or
a burning sensation or a twisting sensation. Like those are the keywords that describe what's really going on, and that's what helps us to help intuit it better for you.
Or if you want to come on live, you don't have to go on the camera. You can go on camera. If you click on the Zoom link at the top, we'll bring you on live for 5 minutes or so.
Come for a chat.
And we'll talk with you. You can either talk auditory or you can
We're not scary, are we, John?
No, it's quite fun. That way we can help you track down, because all healing is done by ourselves, by coming in alignment with the universe. So what the healer or whatever the facilitator does is guide you into the perfect alignment, so that the healing can happen spontaneously by itself and you become aware of what it is that you're blocking, because perfection is all it is. Anything else that we're doing, we're bringing our opinion over the universe's opinion, and that's what causes pain, suffering, all the other things. So, and symbolically looking at that, like with my children, I got a bit of an insight with that today. 3 of my older children still don't talk to me because of something I said. And then I realized, that they listen to their mum more, but they won't listen to me. And I've done all this thing. And it's like, I wasn't trusting the father as much as so the mother representing earth, Mother Earth and that, and the father representing spirit. I would trust all the basics. Like I would trust logic more than I would trust the intuition. And so that became very clear to me today. So maybe that'll change. I might get a call from them tomorrow. Now that I've let go of it.
We do offer 2-on-1, as we call it, 2-on-1 intuitive guidance sessions, where we have private sessions over a Zoom connection, so we get to sort of see each other. They're at $300 an hour for the two of us, and we generally like to spend an hour with people, and where we can really sort of get deep into a conversation about what's going on in their lives and any sort of issues or questions that they have. We've had some fantastic success. We've had some clients agree to put some videos of the sessions online. So you can get onto our website, bquest.me, and check out the videos page where you can have a look at some of the recordings.
We're doing a special again. We're dropping it down to $200 for an hour reading. Also, I'm offering from one-on-one readings for anyone who wants to leave it live on Facebook. I'm going to do 5 this week, where if you want to come on and we'll do a live on Facebook, if you want to leave it on there, I'll do those for free this week. So that gives you energetic healing. I can clear entities or do stuff like that if it's required.
So get in quick, drop a comment. We'll check through the comments after the show for those that are interested.
Message us on BQuest or on here.
Either drop a comment here or go onto the website and send us a message on the contact form.
So Amanda there, what's that?
All right, so let's get going. I'll read them for you, John.
Thanks, mate. Otherwise I'll need my glasses.
We don't want to see him with his glasses on. He looks very professor-like. Okay, I'd love some guidance. This is Amanda. Regarding to my health, I'm 23, a young mum. I have PE, which is blood clots in my lungs, unprovoked. Currently undergoing a cancer screening as well.
Okay, so blood clots in the lungs. So blood is about cleansing and stuff like that. So a lot of blood issues are about like toxic feelings and toxic thoughts cause toxicity in the blood. And so blood clotting blood is the flow. So there's not a flow, and the lungs have got to do with grief. So first of all, we've got some grief issues here. There's a lot of grief that hasn't been expressed, and it could be grief from before when you were really young and can't even remember. So the lungs have a lot to do with grief, and I'm picking up there's some grief there, and the blood clotting is holding on to that grief, and it's not allowing it to be cleansed. So you're not going through the grief emotions. And often we don't want to do that because we feel like inside feels bigger than the outside world. It's like our body's like the TARDIS in Doctor Who. The inside's bigger than the outside. And so sometimes when we have a build-up of emotions, grief or fear or anger or whatever, it feels massive because inside feels so big. But as soon as we start to let it out, we realize what feels like an ocean can come out in a couple of minutes. So there's a lot of grief there. Again, I'd have to ask you a few more questions to delve a bit deeper into it, because the blood clotting is a bit unusual. So it's mixing like your drive for life and the grief, the unexpressed grief. There's build-ups. There's grief that you
feels
just
like a lot of pressure, actually.
Yeah,
like a lot of pressure on the lungs.
Stuff you're hanging on to.
Yeah,
that you don't want to let the grief out because you're a young mum. Understandably, you've got to look after a kid, and you feel like if I break down, it's just going to go forever, and I won't be able to look after my child or whatever. But it's not necessarily true. Most of the time, the grief will release really quickly.
Yeah,
when we drop into it.
And it's been my experience. I mean, I've been working through with John now for a year and a half, and I mean, I've had a heap of emotional releases. And at first, when I first started to tackle this area, it felt really overwhelming, right?
Yeah,
to actually to really sink into it and allow myself to, to be open enough to deal with it. But it still amazes me that time and time again, when I do that, and when I get to that surrender point, it's as tough as it is sometimes, it actually clears really quickly.
That's the key to getting into it, what you just said then, the surrender point. So you got to go, okay, I don't know what the grief is. It feels like there's a lot of grief there. That's why I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
But hey, what about if I just drop into it? I'm sure the universe will back me up. And what if I just let myself cry? And you can always stop yourself.
Yeah. So
give yourself, say, okay, I'm just going to let myself cry properly, fully fall into it, and like wait till the child goes to bed, wait till you got some time by yourself, and just drop into it and say, I can stop it at any time and restart it at another time.
Yeah, that's right.
But surrendering to it and go, okay, whatever this shit is, I want it out. That's the determination. You've got to have the courage to go, fuck it, I'm sick of this shit, I want it out. And when you clear the energy, when you clear the emotion, often the physical side, the blood clots and that just start to clear themselves quite miraculously.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you don't go to the doctor.
Of course, all the rest of
we're
it. Not. I mean, we're not doctors, right? Do we look like doctors?
We must stipulate that
he might look like a doctor with his glasses on. Alrighty, where are we? Tamika Bauer. How can I help to discover my life's purpose? I'm really struggling. I can't even say that one. I'm really struggling to find it, but I know there is something for me. There's something there for me.
What did you say? Struggling.
Thanks for hitting that one on the head for me, Tamika.
So what just happened with John there, which is one of our processes, when we stumble on words, that gives us a clue as to where the blockage is or what we need to work out. So struggling is an issue at the moment. So we'll work on it after the live.
We will. Now. Thank you, Tamika.
So struggling with your life's purpose. I'm guessing you're not that old, Tamika. I don't know. I didn't say age. No.
I'll hold on.
So the life purpose is, first of all, don't make it one purpose. Your life purpose is that what you love. Just your life purpose can be not expressed in your career. Your life purpose can be like John's doing a lot of this BQuest work and his day job in IT, and he does like the return to sender and all of this stuff.
Yeah, I practice all the tools,
and that helps people. Like sometimes your life purpose is just to be the calmness in the storm. Just to be the smile that's walking down the street. That's the greatest spiritual thing you can do, is to be the healthiest, happiest person you can be.
I mean, it sounds very cliche, right?
It does, yes.
But the amount of times where I've retrospectively looked back, and with friends or family, where it maybe even just been that hand on the shoulder, or that smile, or that little sort of cuddle or hug that you give them, that really turns them around, and so your presence alone in that case.
So your presence heals. This is the
heals and liberates.
The job of the healer is there to hold the space, is to not buy into the fear, is to not buy in the universe, God, the source, whatever you want to call it. That's already created the perfect you. So when I do the energy healing and I just ask to feel the image of the perfect them, how God sees them, if you want to call it that, or how the source created them. And I just block out, using my focus, just to block out any other things that they've created, the negative things, the fears, and hold that space for long enough for the energy just to flow and correct itself. And so sometimes try not to put all of your effort onto one thing as your life purpose, So, but purpose does, if you're feeling lethargic or whatever else, if you're feeling like undriven, then it is really something we'd have to work on a lot more. And
the other thing as well, which has come up the last couple of weeks, is if you're unsure, don't do anything.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Don't try to pushing yourself to try to figure out, or try being the key word here.
Yeah.
Trying to find your purpose. You're not going to find your purpose if you're trying to find it.
One simple way of finding your purpose is look at what you're drawn to. Like a lot of our techniques that we do in the healing and in fixing things, we travel backwards in time or forwards in time along people's emotion lines and all of that. And my fascination in TV shows since I've been a kid is time travel, but it's symbolic. That's how I do the healing. I try and travel along someone's timeline to find situations that they've locked into. So symbolically, what you're attracted to, if you're attracted to all the vampire TV shows, then maybe conserving your energy and not being around draining people and teaching other people how not to be around people who are draining could be your purpose.
That's right.
So just notice what you love.
Yeah.
Notice what makes you sit up when you hear a conversation. What perks you up. These are all signals.
We do a lot of sessions with people. And typically most of the time when it starts out, they'll maybe give us a bit of an explanation as to what's going wrong in their life, and we'll start working through that. And then when we start asking them questions about what they do for hobbies or what they love to do, you can immediately see they're like, I really love doing this, or I really love working with children. It's that
what makes
that
your
moment
eyes open
is what makes you just open up and just go, I fucking love this. I fucking love that.
And it's like, and don't put purpose, like spiritual and physical, they're the same. They're just opposite sides of the same coin. So, I was doing car sales, but I was doing this stuff many years ago. I was still helping people to become more aware during car sales. And it's like, so don't try and don't necessarily separate them. You might need to, but don't make that an automatic assumption as well.
That's right.
Okay.
Alrighty, moving on. Where are we? Sarah Marie would love some guidance on constant headaches and migraine and neck pain with a background of arthritis, anxiety, and depression.
So, there's a lot there.
There is a lot there.
So the headaches generally are holding on to old limitations. So things like saying that you've got headaches is an old limitation.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure on the head, if it's the front of the head or the back of the head, will give us a little bit more clarity
there.
So
maybe drop a comment, Sarah.
Drop a comment and say whether it's the front of the head, the back of the head.
We can come back.
Neck pains generally have got to do with neck pains and stuff like that is usually communication problems. So you're not saying your needs, or you listen to other needs and putting other people's. So there's an imbalance of communication. It could be the communication between your thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
Yeah.
There's always some sort of communication issue tied into that. And you've got to look at the neck pain, which side of the neck. If it's left, there's a female that's probably being a pain in the neck. If it's right, there's a male that's probably being a pain in the neck. That's adding to these situations. That's not allowing you to express your thing and communicate clearly what your needs are and dealing with that. Again, this stuff would have to tie in. Like migraines is just really, really holding on.
Yeah.
The migraine is just like really believing that whatever problem you think is going to happen, or whatever problem you think there is, you hold on to that so intensely. I used to get these, really thinking that something bad's going to happen, and that causes so much pressure in the head. And you can do a simple technique when the headache comes up. You can say, whatever I'm thinking or feeling, maybe that's not true. Maybe that's not going to happen. Just say, but make sure you say maybe, not definitely. Maybe that's not true. Whatever I was just thinking or whatever I'm worried about, maybe that's not true. Maybe that's not going to happen. And you'll feel the headache or the migraine will start to reduce in pressure, and then keep repeating that over and over again. It'll clear it. I've done it hundreds and hundreds of times with people.
It's to get back to the possibility that it could be something other than you think it is.
Yeah. So, and when we say think it is, sometimes it's a foreboding feeling. It's the feeling that's worrying, not the thoughts.
Right.
So it can be like, oh shit, it can be an emotional worry. It can be a feeling in the heart that's telling you that something bad's going to happen. you're not going to like something or someone's not going to like you, anything like that.
Hello, Karen. Hello, Double Trouble, she said. Max, hey, Max. Long time no speak.
Yeah.
Pretty intense chest cough, maybe a chest infection lingering after I've had the flu.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the chest infection or the flu that's been around is pretty nasty.
Pretty nasty.
It's very nasty. This one I had, like, it's taken me 2-3 weeks to clear it. So keep the base things up, like Manuka honey and vitamin C and echinacea and stuff like that. Strengthen the immune system. But the immune system gets weak. This is the problem with the flu. There's an immune system weak. There's a virus attacking, which means you're not following your feelings enough. You're letting other people's beliefs, opinions, or whatever tell you what you need to do, or in my case, old beliefs and old opinions telling you what to do, worrying about what old fears from the past.
Yeah.
And that was weakening my immune system. Once I said, okay, fuck it, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to do this and
bury my dead.
Bury the dead. You know, that was old issues from a long time ago. And so they can weaken your immune system. Worry, letting your thoughts stop you from doing what you want to do. So that's...
It can also be clearing, right? Coughing stuff out of the lungs, which we find particularly. It's the body's kind of natural way of coughing out, the things that it's clearing or that it's attempting to get rid of.
Yeah, so that's that's the other thing. If you're too busy and you're not slowing down, the body will make you sick just to make you stop, and that can be part of the clearing and cleansing process as well.
I hope that helped, bro.
So,
thanks, Amanda. Such kind words. Makes so much sense. That's awesome.
So if anyone wants to come on live, they can
click on the loom. The loom thing. Fucking
you've got to switch that brain around there.
The Zoom link. I'm gonna have to talk really slowly now and watch my words as they're coming out, John. But I'll come on for a chat and I'll attempt to try to speak faster.
So if you want to come on and we can delve a bit deeper into this, because as we touch on part of it, we ask you more questions, and it shows us little signs and that which help people work through stuff really quickly. If you want to, you can come on audio or video if you click on the Zoom link.
Yep.
Otherwise, be a little bit more specific in your questions and descriptions of what you're going through. Using descriptive words of where it is, how it feels. That's what gives us a lot of the keys to the deeper part of who it relates to usually.
Okay. Rose Kroon. My 6-year-old is complaining of left side chest pain and pins and needles in his feet. His blood, sorry, I can't pronounce that.
Plasma?
Platelets. Platelets.
Yep.
Are high as well.
I don't know the blood platelets part of it, but the left side, when they're that young, anything under about the age of 8, most of it is they're picking it up off the people around them.
Yeah.
So it's left side. So he's probably taken this stuff on from you, not necessarily directly from you. It could be somebody else that he's picking up, but he's picking up through you as opposed to from you, which is one of the ones that we find often because it's on the left side. So what was it? Left side what?
Left side, complaining of left side chest pain.
Left side chest pain. So the chest pain is, are you following your heart? Are you not doing what you need to do for you? And because he'll be picking that up off you. Are you stopping yourself from following your heart? Because that's usually what the chest pain is. If it's chest pain and not lung pain, it's usually about following your heart. And if you're not following your heart, he's picking that up on that. And you might be stopping yourself because of another female or somebody else. So it might not be directly you. It might be passed on down the line. So what did you say? The blood platelets are high. So
and the pins and needles in his feet.
The pins and needles in his feet. This is again about your direction. This is about a female is on the left side. So the pins and needles are there's a blockage there to following your direction and following your heart. And he's picking that up. And you're trying to fix him, which is probably stopping you from following your direction and listening to your heart.
Yeah.
It's like, so you can ask, is that mine? This is one of our tools. And are they my feels? So is that mine? And so when he picks it up, you don't say it to him, but ask yourself, say, is he picking up my stuff and can I let that go now? And then ask him if it gets less when you do that.
Yeah.
And in the moment, when you do that, if you just agree to go, if that's mine, I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to start listening to my heart and I'm going to look at my spiritual direction or my direction in life. and see, and then ask him again. Say, is it a little bit less painful now? Is it a little bit less sore or whatever? And you can do it in real time and really see this stuff disappear.
Our children can be our biggest teachers. That's one thing I've learned.
Well, this is how the Are They My Feels comes about. As children, especially young children up until sort of 7 or 8, we take all of the stuff, or we think we take all the stuff off our parents, but we duplicate it. So now so we try, we can't let mum get sick, or we can't let dad get sick because who's going to look after me? So we try and take their pain away or take their suffering away. And all we do is duplicate it. And then they've got, and often that works because the parent has to let go of their pain especially if it's a sickness. It'll often work because the parent has to push their sickness aside so they can take care of the kid. So, but it's a misguided way of doing it.
Zara, what do you think I should get to eat? How about a bag of Zara?
How about some health food?
I thought you were taking the van out, Zara. What happened there, bro?
So what else we got? What's that, Angela? What's that one?
She's asking. She's moving. I'm moving soon into a friend's place. Will I find love and luck soon?
Oh, look.
Not generally a question.
Generally, we don't cover that question, but usually when you ask that, you're putting out the opposite frequency.
Yeah.
So when we often we ask for things, but the universe is hearing you're not, because by asking that, you're saying you're not going to. You're saying I lack it. I need love. When we say I need, the universe hears need, which means I haven't got. So we think we're asking for something, but we're putting out an equal vibration or a stronger vibration of lack. So you have to go neutral with that. When we're in that space, it's like, okay, what's it going to take for me to let that go and to love myself so that I can attract that love, so that I can attract that. And moving in with a friend, one of our other techniques is if it's light, it's right. If it's heavy, it's a lie.
Yeah.
So check this is what the intuitive guidance is about. So this is how our number one check is, does it feel light? So think about moving in with a friend. Does that feel light or does that feel heavy? Think about moving in with somebody else. Think about moving out by yourself.
Yeah.
And feel each one of those feelings. And they'll make you either sit up and expand a little bit or it'll make you contract a little bit. So it's not registering as good for me. I'm reading it's not necessarily going to be a good thing, but even if
ask yourself, but
even if it's not a good thing, like on that level for what you're asking for, sometimes these hardships are good because they make us determined to go, fuck this, I'm going to start doing what I need to do.
Yeah.
So even things that are not good, they're not good relative to what you're asking. So, but it could turn into a good situation because it could get you in there and get you pissed off enough that you start going, fuck this, I'm going to do my life my way.
Yeah.
You know, or it could bring other opportunities, but it's just not, just for the question you're asking, I'm just getting, no, it's not going to be good for that. No. So,
no more questions at the moment.
What's that?
You are both amazing. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Was there some up at the start? So if anyone wants to come on live,
come for a chat. Come and hang out. Come and hang out on Zoom.
Little things like, when you're going through change, subconscious blockages and stuff like that, that change is very difficult because it takes us out of our comfort zone, right? But our comfort zone is usually our limitation zone. You don't want to be in a comfort zone because comfort zone is just what you're used to on a regular basis. And most of us are very limited. So be in your change zone, always try and keep yourself just that little bit out of comfort. It's like not in that total comfort all the time. It's like, because it's a default. We want to go, oh no, this is uncomfortable. But the slightly uncomfortable space is the space that makes us grow and makes us move forward. So it's like, say things differently than what you're normally going to say. Use the courage, the lion heart, come from that space to push yourself forward. So, all right. And use the body as the symbology, So if you've got pains and that, don't see pains as a problem, see pains as the answer that you're not listening to.
Just so you know, guys, when you do come on Zoom, we don't get the video. It's just the audio.
Or you can have both if you want.
You can wear your PJs. That's fine.
You can just come on audio on Zoom. You don't have to use video.
Nikki Holston, the lower back pain, is it any particular side? Can you maybe give a little bit more description as to how it feels? And then we'll get to you on that one.
Generally speaking, the lower back, just to cover that for a second, is not following your feelings. So the soul, the navel chakra, this is all about our general feelings, just following your basic feelings like, hey, I want to chill out. Hey, I just want to fucking smile. I just want to fucking run down the road. You know, these sorts of things. And when you don't do that because I haven't got the money or I haven't got the time, or usually they're the main two reasons that people stop following their feelings. You know, I just want to have a day at the beach today.
Yeah.
Or, you know, so that will not following your feelings, your basic feelings, and that will cause a lot of the lower back problems. And if you get more into sciatica and if it's left or right side, then we can sort of hone that down a little bit more.
Yep.
But generally speaking, it's not following your feelings. And usually that's because we're limiting ourselves because I haven't got enough time to go to the beach or go to the park or whatever because I've got to go to work. I haven't got the money. And,
Yeah.
And that's how we talk ourselves out of following our feelings.
Yeah. We use some crazy excuses.
Yeah.
Okay, Marlene. I have blood vessels in my stomach that burst. I have to get cauterized, and only fixed for a short. I had to get cauterized, and I only fixed it for a short period of time. So, why does this happen to me?
Yeah, so blood vessels bursting, you're pressurizing yourself. You know, so usually it's like nosebleeds. It's people pressurizing themselves mentally, putting too much pressure on themselves, trying to force themselves to do something. So because this is in your stomach area, and again, guys, we're not covering anything. You know, if there's chemical problems, if there's dietary stuff, we're not covering that 25%. This is the other 75%.
Yep.
But pressurizing yourself on an emotional level is what this is. This is you're bursting blood vessels, and you're not. Doesn't matter if they cauterize them. It's going to keep happening if you keep pushing yourself emotionally. If you're pushing yourself, you might be taking on other people's emotions. You might be, if you give me a little bit more detail of whereabouts in the stomach, and if it's the large intestine, small intestine and stuff like that, that can make me hone it in a bit. But basically, emotionally, you're pushing yourself. You're putting too much pressure on yourself emotionally. Maybe that's to be somebody else's emotional stability, or maybe it's pushing your own emotions aside so you don't follow them because you don't want to get hurt, or you don't want to look like a fool or something like that.
For me, it feels a little bit more left side. I know you've said it's all over your lower back, but the energy.
The stomach or the lower back?
The lower back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I just finished that.
That's for Nikki.
Yeah. So what was the lower back was what?
That was for Nikki.
Oh yeah, all over the lower back.
All over the lower back.
Yeah, so that's generally the navel chakra's blocked, a little bit of the base chakra block. So there's fears and not following your feelings. That's the primary one to do it. I used to get that a lot, and I could go from nearly paralyzed, can't walk, to as soon as I'd let go and go, fuck it, I'm just going to do what I want to do. I want to run down and do somersaults into the pool was one of them, and before that I could barely walk. And then for half an hour I'm running down doing that. Then I come back up and I'm walking back up to the guys that I don't want to be near, and then all of a sudden, bang, I can't walk again.
Yeah.
Because I start doing things I don't want to do. It's like, because our feelings, our intuition, our gut is trying to guide us, but then we justify it, we can't because my partner won't like it, or my kids, or my parents, or my boss, or somebody won't like what I'm doing, and that blocks our following our feelings. But if your feelings are pushing you to do that, maybe you're not meant to be around those people anymore, even temporarily. Or maybe they'll get the benefit out of you doing it. Maybe it'll have the opposite effect and free them up as well.
Okay. Marina Davis. I've just been to the optometrist. My left eye has degenerated. My right eye is fine. A few days after, I ended up with an infected eyelash. Any thoughts, please?
So eyes generally about you're not liking what you're seeing, right? So the left eye is about females. So you're not liking either what you're seeing yourself do or what you're seeing other female around you. It's usually the closest one to you. So mother, sister, a flatmate if you live with them, or a work boss or something like that. But because you're a female, it's probably you're not liking your own actions, what you're seeing yourself doing. That infection there will cause that. It's like, and you can just start changing it. Go, okay, is that true? Am I not liking seeing what I'm doing, my actions, the way I'm dealing with people, what I'm choosing in life, or what my flatmate is? Or I don't think it's actually you. I think it's reading more that it's either, someone you live with, or a mother, or a work colleague, a female that's close to you. You don't like seeing their actions and what they're doing, the way they're dealing with life or dealing with someone, and you're putting up with it. And it's like my son used to get up when his eye would flare up, his left eye would inflame when he was coming down to see his mum. And he thought there was some bug in the house because it would happen every time. And I talked him through this. And then one time he was coming down, it started to swell up when he was halfway down from Queensland. He's going, well, there can't be a bug in mum's house. I haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, stop judging what you're seeing. So, she's doing the best that she can do. And I'm not going to see it that way. and I'm going to choose to see it differently. I'm going to choose to come from forgiveness. And by the time he got there, the swelling had gone. Normally it would take 5 days for that thing to calm down.
My stomach started sort of churning. So it's like something that you're seeing that it's sort of, I don't know, makes you upset in the guts or emotionally
or maybe it was that push the button that she doesn't want to see that she's doing the wrong thing, or seeing that the female around her doing the wrong thing. So again, if anyone wants to come online for these things, we can usually work through them very quickly. And you can see things heal in the moment while we're talking about it, which is quite fun.
Talking about eyes, we can see things.
So
all right, let's keep going. Where are we?
So the degenerative part tells me that this has been going on for a long time. So it's going to be a little bit harder for you to recognize, because if it's degenerative, it's been going on for quite a while. So you've got to look at the actions of yourself or the female that's close to you and say, hey, is there actions, is there things that they're doing, is there things that I'm doing that I don't like the way that I'm doing it, or I don't like the way that they're doing it, I don't like that they're being manipulative or whatever.
Yeah.
And say, okay, how can I start to see that differently?
Okay. Paul Champ, pain in both knees whenever I bend them, and it's like the kneecap is going to break.
Yeah, okay. So generally speaking, knees, well, your legs have got to do with your direction in life, and your knees have got to do with the solar plexus, which is your self-esteem, and it's got to do with being flexible. So you're being inflexible basically, and because it's in both knees, you're being totally inflexible about your direction, and this has got to do with so many other people's opinions. So the kneecaps is about protection. So you're not protecting yourself and doing things your way because your dad's opinion, your boss's opinion, your mum's opinion, all these opinions all these
opinions around
you of where you should be going in life, what you should be doing, both on the physical and spiritual level. So it's about you doing things your way, but also being flexible about it. Don't judge those people. Just go, okay, I'm not going to buy into that as much anymore. I'm going to start doing things. Just agree to it. When you feel it, say, do I need to be more flexible and let go of other people's opinions in this? And then bend your knees again in the moment. As you ask that question, it'll get less painful if that's the key. So when we hit the right message, all of these things are messages from our soul, from spirit, if you want to call it. And when you hit the right message, because the knees it feels like it's going to burst out because you're putting so much pressure on holding this direction that you think you should be doing, whether it's your job and your career and the females you're with.
Not
whatever.
Too sure, but they gave me an image of like a whirlwind, like he's of the opinions. You got a whirlwind of opinions running around you.
And because I'm guessing you're a strong male, so one of our things as strong males we can hold. So we think that's a good thing because there's too many opinions. One is to just say, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. They're usually full of shit. We're all children of God. So my opinion is my opinion. Yours is yours. But none of them are really to find our answers. The answers are all inside our heart of hearts, and we've got to connect directly. And that's what this intuition's for. Like feeling, does it feel light? When we ask these questions, this is how we fix this. When we ask these questions, we feel it get lighter or we feel it get heavier. That's connecting with the universe. That's talking with the universe instantly.
Yeah. Okay. Tina, any guidance on nausea caused by anxiety?
Well, yes, they're both synonymous for each other. So the nausea, the wanting to vomit, is a definite sign that you are thinking that there's going to be a problem. You're thinking, so often we'll think, I'm going to say something to somebody, or I'm going to go and do this. And then we go, oh, no, I can't because they won't like me, or that person will be there.
I can't say that.
Or I can't say that.
It might make them feel this way.
It'll make them upset, And that's when you get the nausea, the nausea is telling you that that's not true, right? So this is all about expressing yourself. And same with I was going to call it arrhythmia because that's what I had. But the anxiety is the same thing. Your heart wants you to start saying some things to certain people or speaking your truth. And then you're resisting that because you don't want to upset people or you don't want to fucking get confronted. Maybe it's their confrontation. If I say that, they might yell back at me and I don't want to deal with that. But that's not necessarily true. And so when you get the nausea, and this is one of our favorite ones because we do it so often. Yeah. And it's like, so the nausea is coming up to tell you that, hey, I'm going to say this to this person. Oh no, but then they'll get angry and they'll yell at me and you get nausea and you think, and then you'll get the panic attack or whatever as
Yeah.
well at the same time. 'cause
I
the
get
heart-
I get like a heavy heartbeat.
yeah. So the
myself.
heart's trying to say, fucking do it.
Just do it.
And then
Don't be a pussy.
the nausea is backing up. These two things are working simultaneously to turn you away from what they're trying to tell you to go towards. And
oftentimes it's just the willingness to say it.
yeah, so you just agree to say it.
You just agree to yourself or to the universe to say, okay,
So
I maybe in the past where I've done this, it's gone horribly wrong, but I'm just going to at least agree and be willing to say what I feel my heart wants me to say.
Yeah. And often you can't recognize what that is. So you just agree, whatever I was just thinking or whatever I was just feeling of that I should do. Because often it's not thinking, it's feeling.
It's feeling,
I feel like I should just fucking tell this person to piss off. You know? It's like, and it's like, oh no, I can't because that's my boss or that's my mom or whatever. It's like, and it's like, okay, so I'm going to agree to follow this, even though I don't know exactly what it is. I'm going to agree to start listening to my heart more. I'm going to agree to start, and you'll feel the anxiety settle down. And with the nausea, say, maybe that's not true. Maybe that person's not going to get upset. Maybe that person's not going to yell back at me. And that will ease the nausea down in the moment if you just agree to start to go, okay, no, maybe that's not true. Maybe whatever I was feeling or thinking just then is not true. And you'll feel the nausea dissipate in that moment.
Okay, Kathy Patterson. I have osteoarthritis in the knees and have had since I was 30. Is there any emotional cause for this? I also hold stress in the back of my neck.
Yeah, so
that's unfortunate.
Both of them are probably related because the neck, the throat chakra, the knees are related to the solar plexus, and the throat chakra and the solar plexus are both about your will, your personal will. Often arthritis it's a build-up of negative feelings and negative thoughts over a long time. So it's acidic thoughts, acidic emotions, acidic. For this is about your direction. So you keep stifling yourself in your direction, and you have acidic thoughts saying, I can't do what I want to do. And then the throat, also the pain in the neck is also backing that up by not expressing what you want to do. So if you say, what about if I start asking what I want to do? What if I let go of all my resentment or that I can't follow my feelings? Because resentment and control issues like over controlling, these are all the negative emotions that build up that cause arthritis. So go through some forgiveness. Forgive yourself for not following your direction. Forgive yourself for not being flexible, and say, how am I going to start following my direction more? How am I going to start expressing myself more? I agree to start doing this, even though I've got no fucking idea how to. If that's the case, I agree to start doing it. Show me, universe, give me a sign. I'll just start doing it a bit more and a bit more. And you should find, as soon as you agree to do it, especially if you're getting the pain at that moment, and then agree to start speaking your truth a bit more. I'm going to start following my direction a bit more. I'm going to let go of any resentment or guilt or any of those emotions that I've got. I'm going to start forgiving myself for having those emotions. And that will start to clear it very, very fast.
Yeah, we have this saying, which is make it fun. And it kind of feels like I'm getting a message that you don't typically do things that you want to do or that you find fun. And so my guides, I guess, are saying, when you go about your day, just say, is this fun? Do I actually find this fun? Am I going to find this fun? Have I found it fun in the past? Things like that.
And it doesn't mean doing fun things. It means making what you're doing fun.
Fun, yeah.
It's like, make talking to your
Give the
boss.
story.
Make talking to your boss fun. Like John did it with me with the meditation when he first came to our meditation group. He goes, he's obviously
it was all very serious. You get in there and he had it. It was a great meditation class. That's why I kept coming back. It was all very, I don't know, just like church serious.
Stoic. I was very stoic.
Stoic, that word. You go in, you sit down, you're in a circle, you do this, you breathe, he gives all precise
it's all very
instructions.
Formal. Yeah.
And my guys are telling me to tell him to make it fun. And I'm like, I can't fucking tell him that. No way in hell I'm going to tell him that.
And he said, make it fun.
Make it fun. I shouted it out when everyone went quiet. I was like, John, make it fun tonight. And
then I went to react, and my reaction showed me that it was true. So I went to go, you can't, it's meditation. It's supposed to, and it's like, oh, there it is. Okay. So, and I caught that one in the moment. And it's like, so these little things are all little indicators for us.
Life is meant to be fun.
So, and it doesn't mean doing what you class as fun. Like if you class getting drunk or playing soccer or whatever you class as fun, doesn't mean that sort of fun. It means make what you're doing fun. Become more aware of it. Breathe into it. say it a little bit differently if it's stuff at work. All those things make it fun. Just do the same thing you're doing, but just change the way you're doing it. And so the arthritis in that knee is a lot of build-up of negative emotions. It's acidic emotions, the emotions of resentment, the emotions of guilt. They build up, and it's not necessarily that you don't mean to resent it. It becomes automatic that you resent. Like, I've had quite a few broken bones in the past, a long time ago, and it was a build-up of resentment in the bones that had to be released because I was resenting where my life was going. I wasn't doing that mentally. That's an emotion, is resentment. It was building up.
Okay. Debbie Graham, restless legs every night. I start to fall asleep and then whammy, leg spasms. I have to get up. It's very disturbing and upsetting.
So
I have to get up.
There's a few restless legs syndrome, generally speaking, which is not more what you're talking about, bedtime. That's usually restless legs is you don't like where you are, right? So you don't like what you're doing or the way that you're doing it. You want to be somewhere else. I'll sit there when having a conversation with someone, if their leg starts bouncing, I'm like, if you don't want to be here, fuck off,
Just like that.
That's the way I used to say it anyway. I don't say that anymore. Now I just say to them, I go, look, maybe
now he just says, fuck off.
Maybe you want to be somewhere else. Maybe you don't want to be here. Or are you thinking about being somewhere else? Or you're thinking this is not good enough, or you're thinking I should be doing more. So this is a big part of restless leg syndrome. I'd need to go into a little bit more detail onto how your leg is getting restless. But again, it's probably you're thinking you're not doing enough. You shouldn't be sleeping because you haven't done enough. And when I say thinking, I'm also talking about feelings. It doesn't have to be thoughts like that. It can be just feelings. And the feelings are harder to see because they're so far in the background, like resentment feelings that build up in the bones. You don't feel resentful, but when you look at it and analyze it, you're resentful that you have to do this, and it's not a feeling that you're aware of. And so this thing where you've got to get up, you're subconsciously, emotionally, you're telling yourself that you're not doing enough somehow through your feelings or emotions. We'd have to dig into it a little bit more and find out what the causes are by talking to you. But so there is 5 free ones that I'm going to do this week. If anyone wants to leave it live on that's the one-on-ones through the day. Or,
don't forget to drop a comment. So snag your spot.
If you want a free half-hour reading, I'm going to do 5 free ones this week, one-on-one. Yep. Or you can do the paid ones with the both of us. If you want to do the full intuitive ones, we're doing those for 30% off. So it's 200.
Yeah, it's around 200. We'll do
it's around 200 for an hour, or 100 for half an hour.
Yep.
And you get that's the private readings, and we'll do them on Zoom or face-to-face if you're in Melbourne. You can
come catch up.
Anyone in Melbourne, we can do it.
So we've had a couple of people ask about skin problems. I'll read this one out because it's I guess the most descriptive that I've got.
Yep.
Josie, I think it is. Or I have skin problems that don't go away. Nobody understands what's happening.
So skin problems are about feeling unworthy or inadequate. That's the base problem of it. So my son, Will, is he on tonight? No.
I haven't seen him.
My stepson, Quinn, had really bad acne, right? Really bad. And because the acne was on his face, he was always feeling unworthy or inadequate about how he felt, how he thought he looked, or how he thought other people seen him. And I got Will taught him to start seeing himself, seeing that he does look a bit different, but not seeing that as unworthy or inadequate. Different is good in some circumstances. It's not, it's not good or bad. It's just different. And I don't know the exact words that Will was saying to him, but where the skin problems are is a big key to it. So if you can tell us where they are, like if they're around your elbows, around your knees, which a lot of people do when they get psoriasis and stuff like that, that's about inflexibility in your daily actions. If it's around the elbows, if it's about your arms, these are all about your daily practices and daily actions, and you either feel unworthy or inadequate. So unworthy is, this is why a lot of teenagers and that, when they start to get into puberty and that, they get more acne because they think they're not worthy, or they're inadequate. They haven't got enough. They don't look good enough, or other people don't see them. They'll pick out one little problem, like their ears are too big or something like that, and they think that everyone else notices that, and then they feel unworthy, that they're not pretty enough, and that causes more of the skin conditions. So the primary part of it is feeling unworthy or inadequate in some way.
Sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat that's going on. All right, there was a good one back up here. Where are we?
So yeah,
this one here for Julie Sinclair. She keeps asking. Fibromyalgia.
Fibromyalgia. What is that again?
I can't
I've
remember what that
forgotten
is.
now.
Can you give us a description what it is? And it's come up once or twice before.
It's a nervous system thing.
I think so.
So if it's to do with nerves and that have got to do with unbalanced communication. So the communication between you and other people, or the communication between your head and your heart and your gut could be out. Your communication with yourself, your communication with life. Sometimes it's an internal communication. Sometimes it's your communication with the people around you, family, work people, or whatever. But if it's a nervous, I think fibromyalgia is a nerve-based thing.
And there's some flare-ups as well that it can cause.
Yeah.
Sandy's saying.
So yeah, if you give us a description,
if someone can drop a description of what that is.
I've forgotten.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Please.
There's so many different ones. I'm not a doctor.
I can hardly pronounce.
I'm not a doctor. I can't show you my face.
Okay. Chronic fatigue and muscle pain. Thank you, Julie.
Okay. Yeah. Chronic fatigue and muscle pain. All right. So chronic fatigue is generally, again, a lot of fatigue and chronic fatigue is about not following your purpose. There is a lot of chemical problems with chronic fatigue. So things like drinking tap water and that, the fluoride will cause calcification of the glands. The pineal can't pump the right amount of serotonin or melatonin and things like that. So there is a lot of that. So there's a big detox part that is often related to that. So it's one of the ones that I say that I would always look at the physical side as well. But the chronic fatigue or depression, as it really is, that's what chronic fatigue is. It's a depression. It can relate to different organs in Chinese medicine. So if it's liver fatigue, if it's liver depression, it's about not thinking you can follow your long-term plans and your purpose in life. You know, but a lot of fatigue, a lot of that stuff is doing too much for other people, not following your purpose, or not feeling like you have got any purpose, thinking that you're just on the treadmill. And what was the other one? The other part of it, muscle
pain or nervous system related.
Yeah. So the nervous system is about the unbalanced communication, and the muscles has a lot to do with guilt. So all three of those things tie into each other. So you haven't got the right communication, you're not feeling like you've got a purpose, and then you get guilty because you feel like you're not doing enough because you're fatigued. And this is all self-judgment. And it's a really hard one. It's something we've got to find, like all of those things. There's really major triggers to them, and this is why we do the readings and we get it. Often we're
about to do one right now with Marie.
Often we'll get through these things with people in an hour, and it'll change. I always say to people, if they do 3 sessions with me and it hasn't been solved, then it's not an energetic problem.
Yeah. All right, so we've got someone that wants to come and have a chat. Yep. Ooh, Marie, let's just bring you in. Are you there, Marie?
You have to unmute.
You have to unmute the little microphone with the red line.
If you're technically challenged like I am.
Unmute audio.
Unmute audio.
Are you there?
Are you there, Marie? Okay.
No.
So, all right. I don't think she's coming on.
Okay.
All right. So, so all the muscle stuff has got to do with guilt. Nervous system stuff's got to do with unbalanced communication. Ligaments is control, and all these things are there. All of the body situations are there to show you they're not problems, they're solutions, they're messages. And it's like, don't class them as problems. It's like there's something that I'm not listening to. My soul, my body, spirit is trying to talk to me, and I'm not getting it because I don't know this language. Don't judge yourself that you're not getting it. Say, okay, whatever this message is, even though I've got no fucking idea, I'm going to try and start to listen. So show me some signs. Give me some signs. And then you just notice things, like could be something on the radio, could be something somebody says as they're walking past you in the street. As soon as you ask for a sign, you get it. So if you go, okay, is this a sign for me? And then just pay attention to what's going on around you. It might be a fucking billboard that you just look out the window at. It might be something that the ingredients of the box you pull out of the freezer, like fish.
It might be a conversation of people that are walking past
often
you.
It's a conversation of people that are walking past you, very often.
And don't forget to thank the body too for the message.
Yeah, that's good point.
Thank the body. The body does a lot for us.
The first thing is thank you for this message, even though I can't interpret it.
Yeah.
So tell the body, say thank you for this message, body. I'll do my best to interpret it. I'll pay attention. I can't necessarily interpret it straight away, but I'll do my best and I'll try and start correcting it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's always because we're all perfect in God's eyes. We're all perfect in the Creator's eyes. And if we didn't get into any fear or any negativity or any other man-based thing, then all this stuff, even if it come up, it'll heal itself instantly. Flus, anything like that, even external stuff will heal itself almost instantly if you're in alignment and you're just allowing yourself to see yourself as God sees you or as the source sees you. And if you see everyone else from that point of view too, all these things fix themselves instantly. That's how I track it down when I'm doing healings with people. I go, okay, I want to see them as God sees them, and I just consciously hold back all the other doubts and fears for a long enough period for that energy to flow and clear it out. So it's like Da Vinci was asked about his Michelangelo statue, and the reporter or whoever it was said, "How did you create that perfect statue out of the marble?" He said, God put the perfect statue inside the marble already. I didn't have to think of the picture. I just chipped away all the excess. And that's what healing is. The perfect you is already there. It's in your DNA. It's in your soul. It's already there. That's been put there by, all we're doing is getting rid of the bullshit that's covering over the top,
Yeah.
The bullshit that we've put on, that we've allowed to be put on, whatever it is, the negativity, the fear, the doubt. All those things, that's what's covering up the perfect you.
Yeah, rediscovering that the answers are within us, right? Through our inner guidance, our intuition.
Yeah.
And that in some cases, some of what we think or feel isn't actually ours,
Everything you need is inside you. Everything you need, all the answers are inside you. But a lot of them are like seeds. They haven't necessarily germinated yet, but the seed of every answer is there. Sometimes it just needs a little gardening, a little bit of watering, or a little bit of nurturing to bring it out and for that answer to blossom and grow. But the perfect you is there. It's already imprinted in your DNA. It's already printed in your soul contracts. It's already there. You don't have to. It's like we teach people how to unlearn, not to learn.
How to untry.
Yeah, it's like all we're doing is trying to uncover the truth that's already there. So, what else we got?
What else are we? Karen Baker. Hello, Karen. How are you?
Hi, Karen.
Left calf cramp. The pain for 3 days as the reminder. What does it mean, please?
So again, maybe take some magnesium to start with. So we'll cover that. That's done.
Dr. John.
We'll cover the herbs and stuff, that side of it. But left calf, was it left calf?
Yeah, left calf. Yeah.
So these were one of my favorites. This is about not following your direction, especially because it's on the calf, it's in the lower, it's about on the emotional level, it's to do with the navel chakra. And because it's in the calf, it's in the back of the leg. So you're not following what you need to do for you as a female or your spiritual direction because of the past. You're holding on to some past issues going, I can't do this because of this, which might have been true before, might have been true last year or last week or 10 years ago, but it's not necessarily true now. So you're resisting, and the guilt builds up and it causes the cramping. Like muscles have got to do with guilt. So you feel guilty about not doing what you need to do for you or following your direction or your spiritual direction. And it's got to do with female because it's on the left side. So, but it's all about the past. And it's like, just say to it, that's not true anymore. Maybe it was true before. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
But what if that's not true anymore? Whatever I was feeling or thinking or whatever that is, even though I don't know what it is, maybe it's not true anymore. Maybe that applied before, but it doesn't apply now. And you can feel it dissipate in the moment if you hit the right. If you got to say it with belief, and this is why we use the words like maybe and I don't know. It's like, don't use definite words. Like, don't say that's not true anymore. Say maybe it's not true anymore. I don't even know what it was I was thinking or feeling, but is that about the past, and is that not true anymore? And as you say those questions, it'll release in that moment as you're saying it, if you're hitting the right question.
A couple of people asking about diabetes. You got anything there?
Diabetes. That's a tough one because there's generally a lot more physical stuff to do with diabetes. But again, it's sugar. It's not having enough energy. It's an energy in, energy out problem. So and it's really hard because it's, for some people they're putting too much energy out and they're not having enough energy for themselves. For some people they're not using the energy in the right way. But it's an energy in, energy out thing. But there's like 10 different ways that can manifest itself. So there's 10 primary reasons like that could be, but it's an energy in, energy out problem, and there's so many different ways. So you have to really analyze what else is going on in their life to try and guide them.
It's generally one that we would recommend coming in for a session or doing a private session over the internet. Yeah. So we've got a couple of videos on YouTube. We've dropped the price on our 2-on-1 readings. So at the moment, you can get the reading from the both of us for an hour for $200 or $100 for half an hour. But I'm also giving away for this week 5 free readings for people who message on here. I haven't seen anyone drop a comment, John. And so that's the one-on-one readings, but they have to leave it live on Facebook. So some people don't want to leave it live on Facebook. So that might be the problem. So some people don't want their dirty laundry aired, but it's usually fun. It's, none of it's really like the results you get when you find these things and you fix them in yourself just by correcting the thought or the emotion. There's nothing more valuable in the world than that. And even though, you can correct something within yourself and then immediately just in the preceding hours or days, see it change around you. Or minutes. Like that still blows my fucking mind. I can see something and heal something in me and then just have it change everywhere. And especially if it's an issue with another person that you need to say something, you can just agree to say it. Okay, I'm going to say it to this person, and then you don't have to. They end up coming to you and fixing it up somehow. It's just fucking it's just weird how it works. It's fucking awesome, but it's weird. And so so this is that one. We'll come back to the comment. All right. So are we nearly up? We have 3 minutes to go. Okay. So we're based in Melbourne. For the person that asked. So we're based in Melbourne in the city. If you want any healings or stuff like that, I can do distant healing as well as one-on-one, face-to-face. And we are doing some of this stuff. We're going to do a course for anyone that is in Melbourne for conscious body shaping. So changing your attitude, changing your point of view, forgiveness to change the shape of your body, which is basically not changing it. It's just allowing your body to shape the way that the universe or God sees it. It's actually getting the bullshit out of the way. It's undoing, not doing. Exactly. So we'll be running classes on that very soon, and we're in the middle of writing a book about it. So, we have started writing the book about this. So because it incorporates a lot of concepts from several other books, but it incorporates Chinese medicine, chakras, all sorts of stuff. And it's just about seeing the symbology of the things that are going on and agreeing to change it and just allowing that change to happen. Perfect. All right. I think we might call it a night tonight. So remember, if you want to get in touch with us, either through Facebook, the BQuest Wellbeing page, get onto the website, bquest.me. You can drop a message through the contact form there if you're interested in a session. All the links are at the top. All the links are at the top of this Facebook Live. Thank you to Spiritual Events Directory once again. Thanks to all our viewers. For those that we didn't get around to questioning, getting answers this week, come back next week, Monday night, 8:30 for another round. Yes, and 5 free ones. If anyone wants to leave it live on Facebook this week, I'll do 5 half-hour free ones. One-on-one, that is. The 2-on-ones, they're So Eve, just drop a comment to say that you would love one of the free half-an-hour sessions. Or go onto the BQuest. Or go onto the BQuest website, bquest.me. And just message us on there. And messages on there or the Facebook page. Okay. All righty, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. God bless. See you later.